It's an ML Sports Take here, brought to you by our good friends over at Batavia Downs Gaming and St. Bonaventure University's online masters in journalism. Get it done in under 2 years at sbujournalism.com. Thanks as well to select partner friends of the program, Dan Davidson Jr., Dan Davidson Sr., Matt Motika, and Mark Alberti. Another loss for the Bonnies, now at 3-10 in the A10 and 14-12 overall. This team is in danger of just finishing under 500 at this point. It's gotten so bad. I can't believe it's gotten so bad. Many people reaching out to me last night saying, I can't believe it's gotten this bad. The first half was the first half. You want to call it great defense, you want to call it pathetic offense and setting basketball back for 30 years. Do whatever you want to do, but it was a very low-scoring game, 30-28. Bona held the advantage at home. It's a 2-point lead. Remember, revenge factor should be in the minds for these guys, right? I mean, you're home. And then in the second half, I just pinpointed to a specific time in the game where I've yelled and screamed for, especially this past week or two, where I've done some videos on, the Bonnies not taking advantage of what their strengths are, right? Athleticism, speed, length, some of these things that they clearly have on the roster. This is a way more talented team than to be 14-12 overall and 3-10 in the A10. This is absurd. But there was a key point in the game. Bonaventure was, climbing back. And it was 53-52. And I thought to myself, maybe right then and there is where you should just implement the press for 2, 3, 4 minutes straight. Just give them a different look. Put the pressure on. You're at home. You're starting to come back. The momentum is in your favor. And, remember, they were down 9 at one point, 53-44, and they started crawling back. It was after the rebound by Simmons, and then Charles made that driving layup, and the crowd started to get going a little bit. I thought right at that point, 53-52, go time, right? And then, the Bonnies didn't do anything, and then they ended up taking a lead 60-58, and they couldn't really hold a lot. And, I mean, when they were at 60-58, think about this for a minute. That was with 5:28 to go. They only scored 5 more points the rest of the way. I mean, they just go into these freezes from the 5:28 mark to the end of the game. The Bonnies got outscored 13-5, and once they started getting the offense going to take the lead, the defense completely crumbles. That's the thing. Their defense isn't even good enough to hold a 2-point, 3-point, 5-point lead. They're giving up dunks. They're giving up wide open threes. They're giving up lanes. They're behind the plays, and that this has been a problem all year long, right? And then finally, obviously, defensively, toward the end of that game, you're just giving up spot after spot after spot. 3-pointers, they went 9-24, still thought they could have shot more threes. They were terrible from the floor overall, and we know what the offense is. They ran about 20 plays, the same play over and over again in the second half. High screen, handoff, high screen, handoff, Mitchell out, screen, bob and weave, run around. Oh, the shot clock's going down to 7. You better drive to the basket, guard A, guard B, guard C, whoever the hell it is, and then hope and pray that you can get a basket. The bench, Osasui played 16 minutes, thought he could have played 20, 25. Lanati, where has this guy been all season long after a nice start to the season? This team is absolutely a mess. They have been crumbling for a while. I cannot believe it's gotten to this point. 14-12 overall, 3-10 in the A10. And I'm going to close with this in the final minute. I was texting with my man Mark Alberti last night about how he said, hey, you got to play defense and you got to, make threes in the A10, I think is what he said, which is true. But in the A10 more than anywhere else, in my opinion, from being a student there, covering the game, blah, 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 through the last 30 years or so of really following A10 basketball, I think in the A10, it's really matchup specific. In other words, if you're Duke Carolina, you each have mostly long, lean, big, great players, 5-star players, 3-point shooting, unreal rebounding, most of the time great to elite coaching across the board, right? In the A10, a lot of it's matchup specific to where, like in Duke Carolina, if you don't shoot threes or stop something that they do, 2, 3 things, you also do those things usually. Well, in the A10, that's not necessarily the case. You might have 2 or 3 things to your advantage because your players have been there maybe longer, or, well, NIL portal now, that goes out the window. But you get my point. A lot of teams are specific to what they do. Look at St. Louis, how they move without the basketball and how they shoot threes. Nobody in the conference this specific year now, again, everything's year to year, case by case, but nobody does what they do. So how do you counter it? You've got to figure out a perimeter blanket defense or something. Bonaventure clearly couldn't figure that out. when St. Louis was on an 136-point pace, early in the first half. I was there. I covered the game for ESPN doing stats. A lot of teams are matchup specific. Like, they do one or two things. You don't do those things well. How do you counter it? More than a lot of the Power 5 basketball, because those teams are more loaded. They have a bigger, better depth players off the bench. Those are factors, and the Bonnies haven't really countered with that all year. ML Sports take as the Bonnies lose 71-65 to St. Joe's. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.